Hello, what's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name is Emmanuel. In today's video we'll learn how to generate passwords using Python. Before we take a step into the tutorial, make sure you smash the like button, click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Now let's get into the video. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So I'm gonna give it 10. As you can see, this is the password down here. Okay, just ignore this. I forgot to cancel the print statement over there. Okay, I'm gonna run this again, and if I give it 100, if you want your password to be 100 characters, there you have it. Cool. Now that is how the script works. We're gonna cancel that and create our own. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is make sure you create a new file. Just come here, create a new file, save that, and then put whatever name you want, and then the py. As you can see, I've saved mine already. So this is the one that I'm gonna be using. Okay. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create variables that's gonna hold each of my symbols. So this is gonna be symbols, each of my characters. So this is gonna be symbols. This is gonna be uppercase letters. This is gonna be lowercase letters. This is what else are we gonna use? We're gonna make use of numbers. Okay, numbers. I think that should be enough for what we wanna do. I mean, maybe we just add similar characters. Let's shorten the variable name. Okay, so now this we can either decide to start typing this in one by one, or I'm gonna show you another way we can do that right here. So I'm gonna open this. You can make use of Python interpreter just for me to show you how it works. Okay, so we're gonna do for I in range. So what I want to do here is we're gonna make use of what we call the Ascii table. So what that does is that contains all the characters we need basically. So if you don't know what that is, you can check it on Google, but I'm just gonna talk about it in simple terms here. So that contains all the characters we need, from numbers to letters, punctuation marks. So if I do this, this is gonna loop through 1 to 123, 0 to 123 to 122 rather. Okay, the range stops at 122 here, and then it's gonna pick each character at that position in the list, in the table. So if I run this now, as you can see, we have all of this. So this doesn't print it nice. Oh we're gonna use list comprehension instead. So we're gonna come here and then we're gonna say character I for I in range 1 2 3. So this is the same thing with what I typed up here. It's the same thing with this. So I'm just gonna run that, and then we see it's printed in a list now instead of that, of this, which is doesn't look nice at all, and we can't see all. But as you can see, it contains the numbers, all we need. So what we're gonna do here instead is we're gonna assume all this here is all these here are symbols. We're gonna get the numbers, and then the character, letters. What I'm gonna do now is it's gonna be more of trial and error for you, but since I know about it more, I'm just gonna put the numbers in here, and then I'm gonna skip this part of the video. Okay. So we're gonna test all this. Okay, there's an error here. So if you don't know what this is list comprehension. It's basically the same thing as what I wrote here earlier on. Okay, so it's like saying for I range this, then you call this function as indented, but now you're putting it in a list instead. It's basically the same thing. So we're gonna come down and then we're gonna print each of that to make sure I'm not blabbing. Okay, and then we're gonna print numbers as well, and maybe print similar characters for now. So if contribute to run that, as you can see, we're gonna assume all these are symbols. You can change that to symbols personally later. Then uppercase, this is supposed to be lowercase letters. Okay, I think I made a mistake there. It's meant to be 97. So if I run that now, okay, 97. And then we have this at 48, 48 plus 10. Okay, so you get the idea here. We have 26 alphabets, 65 plus 26, like that. So this is supposed to be 97. So should be complete now. Okay, so we have all of that, and now similar characters. I'm just gonna put in some I can remember now. O 0 and I. Okay, we'll just use all of that. Okay, so we have that now. What the next we're gonna do now is I'm gonna create a variable called characters. That's gonna hold all of this. We're gonna see that later on, very soon. Anyway, by the way, So we're gonna call a similar character and password length. Let's create a variable for our password length. As you saw in the one I ran earlier on the demo, user is gonna be the one giving us, but for now let's just make it something static, okay? And we're also gonna need to make a variable for password characters. Now, okay, the demo I ran, you saw that above, just above the list, the password printed, there was a list. So this is where the list was from. But before we get to that, let me explain some things and then we'll get into coding the rest. Now, looking at this, if our user should give us, remember we have 5 lists here. So if our user should give us this, for example, if they should give us 10 as the length of the password. Now, what we want to do is we want to make sure we're getting at least, make sure we're getting equal amount of characters from each of this list to fill in for these passwords, or maybe almost equal number of characters from each list. So what we're gonna do is, if our user should give us 10 and we have 5 lists here, so 10 divided by 5, which is 2, obviously, there's gonna be 2 characters from this, okay, from this each, okay. So we have 2 from here, 2 from here, and then 2 from there. So if you are given 15, so that'll be 15 divided by 5, and by the way, the 5 is because we have 5 lists here. So if I come here and then as you can see, we have 3.0. So we're not going to be using 3.0, we're using the floor division method instead, which will give us the exact number of the times you can find 5 in this. So we're gonna run that, and then we have 3, so which means we're gonna be able to get 3 elements from this each, okay, which is gonna add up to 15. But if we are given 12, for example, 12, so that's gonna be 12, this 5. As you can see, we have 2 elements each. But even though we have 2 elements each, that will add up to, that's 5 plus times 2, that'll be 10, and then we have 2 left, a remainder of 2 left. And what do you want to do with the 2? So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna get elements randomly from any of these lists, just to add up to the 2, just to add up to 2 characters left. So we're gonna come here, and together it's gonna be 12. So modulo is gonna return the remainder from the division operation, and that returns to, as you can see, remainder of 2. So if we have 19 in this case, so it means we can get 3 each from this list, okay. And then when we get 3, so that's 15, okay. 3 times 5, 15, and then remainder, we should get a remainder of 4, by the way. So if I do modulo 5, 4, which means that works. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say, let's do it just beneath this. We're gonna say per character, and then we're gonna say remainder. So that's gonna be password length, this 5, and then remember this 5 is because you have 5 lists here, okay. Or I think it's better we just do len characters. So even if we add one other list here and maybe a list for punctuations, and then we want to add it here, we don't have to start changing it here. So we're gonna do characters, len characters, and then this is gonna be password length modulo len characters as well. That's more than 79. So we're gonna come down here, and then we're gonna put this here so we don't get an error when we run the code, okay. Escape to close that. Now we have that. If I should print a character remainder, we have that working fine as expected, 19. Okay, so but instead of doing this way, there's a short form for that, which I'll show you real quick, okay. So if I should do, let me just do it right here. So I'm gonna do div mod. It's a built-in Python function. All you have to do is just pass in the same parameters basically. So I'm gonna pass in password length, and then len characters. Now let me show you how it works. So I'm gonna come here, and then I'm gonna say div mode help, okay, help div mode. So what this does, it just returns what we want basically, but in a tuple. So this, the first operation, and this, but it returns it in a tuple. So now if I should print this, we still get the same thing, okay, and that works fine. And next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna say for I in range, pardon me over there for that, okay. A minute, let me quickly check how many minutes I've spent. So we're gonna come here and then we're gonna say for J in characters. Now you know the reason why we have this, okay? Why we have this characters list containing all of this. So what we're doing basically is, we want to pick 3 elements each from each of this list. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna say for I in range J. So the first time we're gonna pick an item from each list and add it to these password characters. The second time we're gonna do that in third time, which means in total we've actually picked 3 characters each from this. So what I'm gonna do here is we're gonna be password characters dot append. So what I'm gonna do is J. So when it gets to symbol, it's gonna pick one from symbol, but it's not just gonna pick one. We want to pick a random element from symbols. So to do that, we're gonna make use of Python built-in standard library, which is the random. So we're gonna do random dot choice. Okay, so this is gonna pick a random element from this, and then it's gonna append that to that. Then it's gonna go to uppercase, pick a random, pick a random, pick a random, pick a random. Okay, and then it's gonna come back here for the second time, like that, till it gets to 3 elements each from each of this list. Then we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna come down here. So let me print password characters so we see what we have. Oh, so let's change this to 5. As you can see, we have a symbol, uppercase, lowercase, number, and similar character. Okay, this one here. So we're gonna come down here. Now I want to do something similar if you have any remainder. So we're gonna say for I in range remainder. So if you have any remainder, what do you want to do? We want to say password characters dot append, and we're gonna use append to show you so you know the difference for now. So what we know append is, let me come up here. We no need. Sorry for that. So I'm gonna show you another random method you probably don't know about. It's called the sample. So what this sample does is you're gonna have to pass in a list to it and then a number. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna get 4 items from this list randomly. So it's gonna pick, for example, in this list, so let's imagine this from A to Z. It can pick any letter from A to Z, but it's going to make sure they're all up to 4. Okay, so now instead of just using any list here, we're gonna use a random list from our list of characters. Okay, so let's close that here to make sure that works well. So when we do that, we're gonna print password characters down here. If I run that, okay, for 5 we don't have any remainder, so let's change that to 12 where we have a remainder of 2. So it says choice is not defined. Sorry, it's supposed to be random dot choice. It's a random function. So if I run that now, as you can see the difference here. Whoa. Something is wrong. Oh yeah, of course. So what I want to do is we want to be getting, I told you sample is gonna get this amount of element. Okay, so instead of getting 4, we're gonna be getting 1 each. So for each iteration, we're gonna be getting 1 each at random from this random list of characters. So it's gonna get 1 character at random from this, 1 list of characters at random from this, and then we're gonna get an element at random from this list, whatever list it returns. So the thing is, you can also do it another way, but we're just gonna leave it like this so you understand how it works. If I do Control B, yeah, the reason I'm using sample here is so you understand how sample works as well. So you're not just learning random dot choice, you're also learning random dot sample. Okay, so we're gonna end that there, and then instead of using the append, I'm gonna use plus equals to, I'm gonna close this here. So this is list concatenation is like it's the same thing as doing password characters is equals to password characters plus this. Okay, so we're gonna save that and run that now. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a variable for our passwords. Then we're gonna say dot join. We're gonna pass in the list of password characters to it. Okay, so this is gonna add every item in this to this string as a string. So we're gonna print password. Now we have our password. So doing that, we have random password. So if I change this to 100, aha, we have that. Okay, so without wasting time, before I close the video, remember we still have to change this so the user inputs it. So we're gonna say enter your password length. We're gonna save that. So to run that, remember we cannot run input statements here in Sublime. Okay, so we're gonna right click, open containing folder. If you're Mac or Linux, right click and it should still open in terminal. Make sure you open in terminal. We're gonna come up here. If you're on Windows, make sure that all this is highlighted, or you can cancel all and then type cmd. So this should open your command prompt if either on Mac or Linux with this folder here. Okay, so we're in this folder. We're gonna minimize that. Now to run your Python file, make sure you put Python and then name of the file, what you saved your file as. Okay, so we're gonna say mine is password jn.py. So if I run that, let's give it a length of 12. Okay, yeah, of course I need that instantly. I need to miss something out, so we're gonna save that. So what happened here is input always returns a string. So even if you pass in a number to it, like what we did here, it returns it as a string. And remember, we're making use of this number here. Okay, so you have to convert it to an integer first. So we're gonna come here and then we're gonna run this. Okay, so if I give it 12 now, we have our password. So I can also give it 1,000 and we see our password. Okay, so that's how it works. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, then you should give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out my next epic content. Much love, guys. Peace out.